King Kull awakes from a fever dream, prompting him, Brule, and Conan to return to his home of Atlantis, where horror awaits. We're going to talk about it right here in our review of Conan the Barbarian number 10 from Titan Comics. See you in 3. Welcome back to Comical Opinions. This is our review of Conan the Barbarian number 10. This issue is written by Jim Zub, with art by Robert De La Torre, colors by Diego Rodriguez, letters by Richard Starkings, and the cover art for the cover A, or main cover, is Alan Qua. Before we dive in, let's cover what happened in issue number 9. Conan awoke in the distant past after a run-in with the specters from Thulsa Doom, and he wound up killing himself to try and escape being brainwashed and enslaved to Thulsa Doom. And in the course of the black magic enveloping him from the Black Stone, he woke up in the past, where he was found by Brule. Brule took him to King Kull, who he served at the time, and King Kull, it was out of his mind, either from some kind of possession or some kind of dark influence. And suddenly King Kull believes that Conan and Brule were trying to attack him. A fight ensues. King Kull gets passed out, and then Brule and Conan are captured by the royal guards and taken to prison, believing that they were trying to assassinate the king, which is not what happened. And that brings us to Conan the Barbarian number 10. So what happens in this issue? First, we catch up with King Kull as he's having a dream, a fever dream, if you will. He envisions himself being surrounded by sentient representations of a lion and a tiger who guide him toward his path. And when they lead him through the dense jungle and up on the cliff top where he can see down in the valleys below, he sees his home of Atlantis, where the center is taken up with a large black stone obelisk, and all the people surrounded it are sort of undead zombie-like creatures, which is synonymous with the power of the black stone. Kull approaches the pillar, the dark stone pillar. He tries to reach it to either gain its power or try to stop it or try to at least connect with it somehow. And right at the last moment, the thing explodes and it wipes out the city of Atlantis. Suddenly, King Kull wakes up from his dream, and now he's back in his right mind and back in his senses. His advisors have watched over him, explaining what happened, that those two barbarians, Brule and Conan, tried to assassinate him, and they are waiting in the dungeon for awaiting execution. Kull says, nope, this was my fault. I attacked them. I was out of my mind. I didn't know what I was doing. Let's go down there immediately and make things right. So Kull arranges their release, says, I'm very sorry, but time is short, and my dream is now a prophecy. I believe I have to go back to Atlantis, because it's either something there has to be confronted and stopped, or something terrible is going to happen. You can come with me if you want, and I would very much appreciate your help, Mr. Conan, who I've never met before, but you seem like a good guy. But if you choose not to go, I understand. But one way or another, I'm headed back to Atlantis. Conan, being the noble warrior that he is, agrees with Brule that the two of them should go, and they make ready by loading up a ship with all the servants and supplies they can, and they head out. Before the voyage gets underway too far, Conan is sort of confronted with the feelings over his past, when he used to sail with Belit on her ship, and how he still deeply, sorely misses her after her death, and that all those feelings come rushing back to him. But still, he endeavors to make the best of it. He trains with the king's Red Guard, and they immediately develop a sort of rapport and respect for him, something the king is very impressed by, because they usually don't take kindly to outsiders. But Conan is strong, powerful, an expert warrior, an expert fighter, and their training and their just camaraderie really build up his reputation among the crew. Also, the ship is beset by storms and rough waves and all kinds of problems. But of course, Conan being Conan, he happens to catch the eye of the one Red Guard member, who is a female archer, who is very impressed with his strength, and then of course, Conan winds up being the one person that winds up hooking up with her, which is why this Conan comic is rated mature, because there is some nudity involved. The rough voyage gets a little bit rougher when all of a sudden the ship is attacked by pirates, but not just any pirates. These appear to be pirates that are possessed or under the influence of the dark magic from the Black Stone. Their skin is sort of sullen and grayish green, and they have the white eyes. That means that they're just sort of zombified. They attack the ship. Conan and the Red Guard hold them off and pretty much win the fight and burn the pirate ship down after taking off all its supplies. But they did lose a couple of crewmen in the process. So the trip is starting to whittle down the number of crewmen that are available to fight and defend the king as they head towards Atlantis. Finally, the ship sees land, and King Kull recognizes his home of Atlantis, the island nation. He brings a small ship on board, and he starts following up quickly, a little bit too quickly and aggressively, as though he's sort of possessed, but in a mania or manic kind of way. And he races through the jungle. The barbarians struggle to keep up along with the Red Guard, but they do. And eventually they get to a cliff top where King Kull says, I'm finally home to Atlantis. They look over down into the valley, and what do they see? There is no large black tower of stone containing dark power. There is no collection or a small nation of zombies surrounding it. If not, what they see in the middle of the main city of Atlantis is nothing but devastation. And that's where we leave off as a cliffhanger for the next issue. What do we like about this issue? If we've said it before, we'll say it again, and we'll keep saying it until people get the point across. Jim Zub has a clear love for Robert E. Howard and Conan, and it comes across in the way this story feels so authentic to the original writings. The voyage has got all the ups and downs that you would expect from a rough sea voyage, where Conan is engaged in a long-term mission. This isn't a short story. This is a well-paced story, but it's a grand, epic, mythic story in the same vein as Robert E. Howard. The pacing is great. The dialogue is great. The action is grim and barbaric and gripping in all the right ways. And plus the art, which we'll talk about in a minute, is phenomenal. What didn't we like about this issue? It is a drawn out, long, epic tale that feels very authentic to Robert E. Howard, but it does drag a little bit in the middle. Not too much, just a little bit during the journey. There's some parts where it feels like it could have been pared down a little bit, but overall this was a really fantastic issue, and that little pacing problem right there in the middle is minor by comparison. It's just a nitpick at best. So overall this was a fantastic issue. Let's switch gears to talk about the art from Robert De La Torre. Phenomenal. It's just phenomenal. This is quintessential Conan art that lands smack dab in the middle of Bronze Age style. The shadows are dark. The curvatures and and contours of every character, every muscle, every sinew, every bone is rendered in gorgeous detail. It is grim. It is dramatic. Excellent use of shadows, especially when your characters are a little bit further back. Almost the entire lower half of the face is cast in shadow to give a sense of grim determination. It's just a beautiful looking comic, and if you want something that looks like a quintessential Conan comic, this is absolutely it. Robert De La Torre is killing it as much as Jim Zub is. Final thoughts. What do we think about this issue? This is a comic with fantastic Bronze Age styled art, grim, gritty, barbarian action, and an authentic connection to Robert E. Howard's style storytelling. So if you want a Conan comic, this is as good as it's going to get, and it gets pretty darn good. So I would highly recommend it if you're not reading this issue, or if you're not reading the series at all, but you are a Conan fan or a Robert E. Howard fan, you are missing out. Therefore, we're going to give Conan the Barbarian number 10 from Titan Comics a 9 out of 10. It's a great score. It's a deserved score. This looks great. It reads great, and you feel like you're immersed in a classic Robert E. Howard Conan tale. What do you think about the series? Are you reading it or are you not? If you are reading it, what do you think? If you're not reading it, what the hell's the matter with you? Pick it up. Let us know in the comments section. Also, please like, share, comment, subscribe. We'd love to have you follow along so we can give you more great content. And if you like more reviews just like this one, please stay tuned through the outro.